Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your day and just to be in this adult volleyball captains meeting. I don't want to take too much of your time, but again, thank you so much for being here. So we'll go ahead and start. My name is Mela Yafeta. I have been working at the Pro Rec Center for about 5 years. I was under guest service before, but now I am a sports coordinator and I'm excited to coordinate volleyball this season. I do have volleyball experience as well. So I just love playing volleyball overall. But I guess that's a little bit about me. But that is my contact info. If you have any questions or need to make some changes with your team or anything, I most likely won't reply in the mornings just because I'm currently a student at UVU. And so I have classes in the mornings. But if you have any questions or anything, I'm willing to answer when I can in the afternoons. But if you need an answer sooner, Sia Gomez is also assisting in the volleyball league this season. So her contact info is on there as well if you have any questions and you need an answer sooner. So yeah. So we made some changes for those who are signed up for the women's and co-ed. We did send out an email yesterday just saying that due to the scheduling conflicts for some teams, we decided to remove the preseason tournament for this fall season. However, we do have a Google Doc link that I will be sending out to all of you folks just to fill out to see which time slots are available for you and your team. So I guess we kind of called it like a preseason open gym, but it's still being held tomorrow, Thursday. And like I said, I'll send out that Google Doc link so that you can fill out a time slot of when you folks are available to come in. The purpose of this preseason open gym or preseason tournament, however you want to call it, is to honestly help our staff with their training to make sure that they are fully aware of the plays and the calls and to make sure that they are just familiar overall with volleyball. And I would also say it kind of helps you and your team just to see where you guys are as far as the rankings that all of you guys had submitted when you had first signed up your team. Um, A ranked A, for those who are ranked A, it's advanced. B is intermediate and C is recreational. So if you feel pretty confident in your team, knowing that, yeah, I'm pretty confident that my team is a B, or yeah, I can see my team being an A, or if you're completely not sure, I do encourage you to come to this open gym so that you guys can get a feel of where your team lands or where you want them to be ranked. For the women's and co-ed, we did split them up into upper and lower just because how the rankings played out when people signed up. So just be aware that we did split upper and lower. So depending on your play is where you'll be put on for your division. I hope this works out for everyone. I do ask that you just be patient with us as we try to make these small new changes, but ultimately have fun in all of these things. So our regular season start date is September 10th through November 11th. It's a doubleheader. It's a 5-week thing, 2 games per night, and then I guess just 10 games in total for the season. Then we'll also have a postseason tournament. For the postseason tournament, it says that the division changes for the tournament. It can be possible, but I honestly would want to try and move away from that just because you have been playing with the same teams throughout the season, and then once the postseason tournament starts, you're like, you know what, I want to move to A, and then to be honest, I think it will be a lot harder for you if you're wanting to do that, or if you're pretty confident in your team, then that's awesome, and we can make those adjustments. But if you really feel like for the postseason tournament, you really want to move your team, you totally can. But like I said, I kind of want to move away from that just so that it's fair for you and your team, especially since you've been playing the same teams throughout the season. We have our code of conduct. Please go over that and make sure all of your teammates also read over the code of conduct. The code of conduct, the waivers, and the rules can all be found under the downloads at Quick Scores. I just have that website on there for you, so you can look over on Quick Scores to see the link of the code of conduct, the waivers, and the rules. All participants must fill out the waiver and understand the code of conduct and the rules. So please, 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 if you want to print it out or send them a link as well for them to follow it, that'll be awesome. We also are having all of our captains upload their roster on Quick Scores as well. If you're new to all of this and you're like, what is Quick Scores? Like, I don't think I'm pretty familiar with it. Don't worry, I will send out a link showing how to create an account on Quick Scores and knowing how to upload your roster on there. In the video, it does say to put an email on there. When you put your email on there, use the email that you've been using when you signed up your team, or just the email that we've been keeping in contact with you. It just makes it a lot easier for you and for us. And when you upload your team's roster, just attach the player's email as well on there. Just because once you have submitted your roster with their emails, it will email them the schedule, the roster, and the participation waiver. So it kind of makes it easier for you so that you're not sending out so many waivers and rosters and schedules to your team. So, yeah, so make sure that you just create an account on Quick Scores. Like I said, the code of conduct, the waivers, the rules, the schedules, all of those things are on Quick Scores. And that is also counting the scores as well after each game. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on to the rules. Pre-game, participants are allowed to check into the facility 15 minutes before their game time. Please follow this rule and make sure you let all of your teammates know that 15 minutes before their game time. We have had people who come in earlier, which is great, but the front desk staff will not let you in earlier than 15 minutes. If your teammates really want to go in before 15 minutes or sooner, they will ask for them to pay for the day. So if you want to avoid paying for the day, make sure you come in at least 15 minutes before game time. Check-in. It is the player's responsibility to check in with a volleyball supervisor prior to participating in games. This gives the player the opportunity to get credit for their games played and to verify their roster is signed. So like I mentioned before, make sure all of your teammates sign the participation waiver, and it's every player's responsibility to check in with the supervisor so that they are able to play. Team discipline. Playing coaches and or captains are responsible for discipline and proper conduct of their team members. Refer to the player code of conduct for more information. Like I mentioned before, please just read the code of conduct. We really want this to be easy for everybody and to just overall have good sportsmanship during the season. The team spokesperson, the playing captain is the only player who may address the referee and shall be the spokesperson for that team. One of the 6 players shall be designated as the playing captain. When replaced, the coach or playing captain must designate another player to assume playing captain's duties. The designated non-playing captain may address the referee only for the purpose of requesting a timeout, substitution, or lineup check. That's pretty self-explanatory. If you're the captain, you're the spokesperson. If the captain can't make it, then they can decide who can be the spokesperson for the team. Okay, timeout requests. Requests for timeouts may be made by the designated coaches while at the team bench and or playing captain when the ball is out of play. Each team is allowed two 30-second timeouts per set where the running game clock will stop. Teams must return to the court upon notification by the referee. So you get 2 timeouts, 30 seconds timeouts when the ball is out of play. Jewelry, hats, or bracelets or necklaces, anything. Jewelry and any type of hat are not permitted while playing. These restrictions are for your safety. Athletic shoes must be worn at all times. No bare feet or sandals will be allowed. I do know that there are some who have like permanent like bracelets or they just got their ears pierced and they can't take them off. If that's the case, we'll just have to tape them up. So like if they have a permanent bracelet, we'll just have to tape their wrist and to make sure that it's not dangling around. And that also goes with earrings as well. If they recently got their ears pierced, we'll have to kind of tape their ear to where the earring is covered. It's honestly just good for your safety. Substitutions. Only the coaches and or playing captains on the court may ask the referee for permission to make these substitutions on the serve do not require referee's permission. So if you're wanting to sub out the server every time, please keep it consistent with the same 2 people. We don't want to make the substitution and have every single person serve when you don't really need to. So, but if you're wanting to run certain plays, make sure you substitute the same 2 people every time so that it's fair for everybody. Forfeits. Game time is forfeit time. The opposing team, Team A, will be given the option to win the match by forfeit or to win the first set by forfeit while waiting for the team that doesn't have enough players, which would be the opposing team. If Team A chooses to wait, the grace period will not be more than 10 minutes after scheduled game time. If Team B has enough players within the 10 minutes grace period, the match will then begin at set 2. Match time is determined by the official. Forfeits will not be tolerated. On your first forfeit, you will be warned by a phone call, and then the second forfeit will be dropped unless you pay the $50 fee to reinstate it to the league. Team rosters, a participation waiver with names and signatures must be completed before the game and turned into the supervisor. New players throughout the season must sign the waiver before participating. Rosters will be managed by the team captains on quick scores, and tournament eligibility will be posted online during the season. Any player listed on the roster who desires to play in the tournament must play in a minimum of 3 regular season matches. Limit is 15 players per team, and players may be added to the roster online at any time during regular season plays. The league adjustments. The league coordinator reserves the right to move teams from one league to another league during the season or for postseason play based on performance. So for the league, we'll have women's and co-ed on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They will be playing at the rec center here in either the Cougar Court or Classic Court, and they'll also be playing in Centennial as well. We actually got a lot of people signed up this season, so we really needed to split up women's and co-ed to make sure that you guys get enough plays in throughout the season. For men's, we're having you folks play on Wednesdays at Centennial. So please plan for that as well. If we make some quick adjustments on some things, if we ever have to, we will for sure let you know through email. So please be up to date with your email as well to keep in touch from there. We do follow the rules by the USA Volleyball rules. If you're pretty curious on some of the rules through USA Volleyball, there's their website as well, usavolleyball.org. Time restrictions, it's game time is forfeit time. Each game will have a hard cap time limit of 45 minutes. Championship and semifinal games will be untimed. Please be warmed up and ready to play at match time. Warm-ups are limited to our gym space. Please do not use any other areas for warm-up space. Matches will be played to the best 2 out of 3 sets to 25. We'll cap it at 27 points. Using the rally score system, the rally scoring to 15, cap at 17 points, will be used if a third set is needed. The default protocol is for each team to remain on their respective side of the court in the deciding set. Teams will not switch at 8 points unless there is a clear disadvantage on one side of the court as determined by the refs or the referees. For the net height, we have women's net being at 7'4", the men's net at 7'11", and co-ed is the same as men's at 7'11". Okay, and then we also have toss of the coin. The official will have the home team captain call the toss of the coin. The winner of the toss chooses the right to serve or to receive the serve or the side of the court. The loser of the toss takes the remaining choice. Parents are to supervise their children. A parent or responsible person other than a player must supervise children at all times. If actions of children cause an interruption of match play, playing with the light switches, or anything else, it may cause their parents' teams to forfeit the match. As soon as the lights are back on, the match will continue. Children are not to run through the gym or other areas of the facility while at the schools, and Parks and Recreation staff will not supervise the children. So please, please, please make sure your players know that the players cannot supervise their kids. So they must have a responsible person who is willing to supervise your children while you play during the season. Teams at the match time, a 6-member team may begin with 4 players as other team members arrive. They may enter the set following the side out when their team regains service. And then for tournament play, all teams will participate in tournament play. Tournament information will be posted on Quick Scores, like I had mentioned. So 2 to 3 days after regular season games have been completed for your division. Tournament games typically start the week immediately following regular season play. So, like I've mentioned before, literally everything will be on Quick Scores. So if you don't have an account, please, please, please sign up or fill out an account so that you're up to date on Quick Scores. So we do have some USA volleyball rule highlights. Players can touch the ball with any part of their body. That's including if a player kicks the ball or if it's like a headbutt, that's still part of your body. So at the first hit of the game, The ball may contact various parts of the body consecutively if the contacts occur during one action. So, you are allowed to double hit the first contact of play. But after that play, the second contact must be clean, if that makes sense. If that's a little confusing for you, please let me know. But like I said, you are allowed to double hit the first contact of the play, but then after that play, the second contact must be clean. So no double setting, no double hits after the second play. So contact with the net by a player between the antenna during the action of playing the ball is a fault. The action of playing the ball includes, among others, takeoff, the hit, and landing. Players may touch the post, ropes, or any other objects outside the antenna, including the net itself, provided that it does not interfere with play. When the ball is driven into the net, causing it to touch an opponent, no fault is committed. When the receiving team has gained the right to serve, its players rotate one position clockwise, including the first side out. And then lastly, the serve zone is limited to 9 meters wide around or area behind each end line. So I hope some of these highlights make sense to you. If not, just let us know and we can try and explain it a little better for you to understand. And then we do have some co-ed rules because it's slightly different from obviously women's and men's. But women's may outnumber men, but men may never outnumber the women. So teams must play with at least one male or forfeit will be issued. If there is more than one hit on a side, one must be by a woman. It does not matter in what order the woman hits. Co-ed teams must line up in a male-female rotation at the time of serve. And then when only one male player is in the front row at service, one male back row player may be forward for the attack line for the purpose of blocking. The remaining back row player must be behind the attack line until the ball has been contacted by the blockers or has been hit in such manner that no block is possible. Female back row players may not come forward to block. So I also hope that makes sense to you. Another thing with the substitution thing with co-ed is that men can substitute for men and women can substitute for women. So just keep that in mind as well. That is all of the information in regards to our meeting today. I am able to stick around to answer any questions that you guys have. I'm just gonna recap a few things that I have mentioned earlier. I will send out a link in regards to the schedule, knowing how to sign up on Quick Scores if you don't have an account on there already. And yeah, we'll just post the schedule after this meeting. So that is our contact info again if you have any questions. But then again, thank you so much for being here. And I am looking forward to working with all of you this season.